Hello, we're going to take a quick look at how to get your list of attendees once your webinar is over. So you can see that we are in my Blackboard Collaborate work area, and the webinar is over, and I need to figure out who actually attended the webinar and for the correct length of time so they can get a certificate and get credit for attending. So for this instance, we're going to use this podcasting webinar up here at the top. So you come in and find your webinar, whichever one it is, go all the way over to the right to the three dots, session options, click that. And in your menu, you want to click View Reports. And you may or may not get a whole bunch of sessions. This just depends on how many times you go in and out of the session when you're setting up or rehearsing or whatever. So how do you figure out which one to use? Well, I know that my webinar was February the 3rd from 10 to 11. And it had 34 attendees during that time. So I know this is the one that I want. So I come to the right and click View Report. And you can see the attendee names here on the page, but we need them to be in a spreadsheet so we can manipulate them and save them. So come to the left and click Export to CSV. And you can see down here at the bottom, it has downloaded a CSV to my desktop. So just click on that. Wait for it to open. Okay, and so it might be kind of smushed like this. So you need to definitely expand the joining and leave times. We're very interested in these two columns. You can go through and delete, for instance, my name. It doesn't matter if I was an attendee or not. Things like that. You can delete the participant and guest columns, however you need to make it easier to manipulate. But what you want to focus on is going through and looking at each person and seeing if they were in the webinar for at least 75% of the time. So if it was a 1-hour webinar, they need to have been in attendance for at least 45 minutes. So for instance, you can see that Carrie was in there from 9:38 to 11. The webinar was from 10 to 11, so she was in there for plenty of time. And so she gets, what I like to do is just right click and give her a green. So the green is go. Let's see. Let's say this last person was not in there enough time. She was, but let's say she wasn't. I would just right click on her and mark her red. That way I would know she will not get a certificate of attending. So you just go through and do that for each attendee, and then reconcile this spreadsheet to the one that was your original WUFU list of attendees. And that way you can see who all registered, who was there for the minimum amount of time. And then once you have that spreadsheet worked out, save it to the Trainers Network folder, which looks like this. And just find your webinar here, save it in that file, and then send a quick email to your KDLA liaison and let that person know it's there, and they'll use it to email attendees their certificates and a recording link. That's all there is to it. Thank you very much.